Let's rock this party. It's Luvthemknives here. We're talking Remette. The Peregrine. Okay, Remette Peregrine, it's a new model that's out, or relatively new. I've had these knives for a while, and you know why? Well, do ya? Because it's like, how many you gotta have, dude? Enough to get tested. That's how many I gotta have. These were sent to me by Remette because they contacted me. I mean, I've been talking about Remette knives since before they were Remette. They were QYGMGS. Remember that? Oh, well. And then they go, I go, what is that name? And I was getting them on Amazon Knives. And I was referred by, kind of, not referred, but a guy that has, oh yeah, just the tip, EDC, direct messaged me on Instagram and says, there's this knife that's really smooth. It's really nice. And you got to check it out. It's kind of surprising. I got it on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I think they got a coupon. You can get 20% off or something like that. So I did. And it was amazing. And it was called the Steed. You can still buy it on Amazon now if you want. And I did a video on it. And then they have another one that kind of looks like the Steed, but it's actually a different model. And I got those two confused at one time. Finally got that straightened out. But Remette, they've made, really inexpensive, little micarta flippers that, full size, small, whatever, in the $30 to $40 something range, etc., etc. But they have also made a lot of titanium M390 knives, and that's what these are. And they sent them to me, and they said, before they sent them to me, they said, could you help us? We would like to get them tested for hardness. And I said, wow, I could put on like 0 hands the number of manufacturers that say, please, we will pay the cost of the testing if you will get these tested. And so, so there they are. And I said, oh yeah, okay, I got a batch I'm working on right now to try and send in to get tested, and I could, I can do that. So they did. They sent these 3 to me. And they claim on their Rockwell, on their website, and I'll give you the link to their website, they claim that the Rockwell is 59 to 61, okay? So that is their stated hardness. And yes, if you watched my batch 8 testing that I just released not long ago, and it includes these 3 knives, along with some others that are interesting, then you will see the results were anywhere from 59 to 59.2 to 60.3, okay? And also underneath on this video, as well as on the test batch 8 video where these are also featured, I will leave the link to the spreadsheet where Blade Banner and me, and there was a whole bunch, but Blade Banner was keeping the spreadsheet track, and the rest of us were doing testing and stuff. And there's over 500 knives, and many of them are M390, and you can go right up and down that row of that spreadsheet and look at all the M390 knives, Spyderco, Benchmade, blah, 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 all of them, and see what their M390 tested at. And I'll tell you, most of them are around 58.8 to 60.2 or 3, okay? Very few were anywhere like close to 61, and I don't think any of them were 62. Okay, that was what we called a unicorn. So it's not easy, and once again, I will throw in old Rusty Dusty I still haven't cleaned up, but I got the bumps on this, right, from the testing, and I was hoping this would be a 62 or something, because Spyderco is very good. I think they're like the standard for hitting the Rockwell that people want. But you know what? No, that was a 60.5, I think. So it's pretty much in the range of one of these, and then the other is 59.6 and 59.2. So you know, and they can vary a half a point, you know, if you punch once and you punch again. So you could go from 60.3 to 60.8 or, you know, that kind of thing. So that's where these guys tested out. Okay, so let's get through that now. I mean, and I think it's important because they want to know what consumers want, because they are heat treating in favor of, as I talk to the testing people, edge stability versus edge retention, right? And in other words, toughness versus hardness. And it's a moving scale, right? As you move up hardness, you decrease toughness, okay? It's a sliding scale. Now, okay, I get that. I think most people are willing to give up some of the toughness to get more edge retention. Some people actually like to reduce the hardness to give up to increase toughness because the way they use their knives. And they really don't want to chip the blade. And they don't want to have chippiness on the edge. And I understand that. And I've talked to several that do feel that way. I'd say the majority of people err to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to get comments here, and I'm going to encourage Remette to read the comments and make up their own mind how they want to do their heat treating in the future. And they've already notified me they want me to test more knives going forward. So I will. Okay, Remette Peregrine. Let's talk about the knife. I know I wanted to clear this though. I wanted to get this cleared up, okay, and discussed, okay. Now, Remette has their own, this is on Amazon. I pulled this off of Amazon, but you can actually go to the Remette website. And if you go to the Remette website, I can get you, I believe it's an 8% discount. And look down below for the discount code. I think it's Luvthemknives, but I'm not sure. But look down below and I'll give you the discount code, okay? And so these are not inexpensive knives, okay? And then there's the other variant, which we got right up here, but they're the Falcon, right? RTT1-B and RTT1-G is the regular one with the Storm Anno surround. And here they are. So $235, maybe with 8% discount, you can get it down to whatever, close to $2 or what. I mean, it's not going to be a full $20 off because it's 8%, not 10%, whatever. But, and here's the, you know, some of the pause and read or whatever. Okay. So, yes, I mean, I understand manufacturers, they get returns from customers, and I think they fear the customer breaking the blade, chipping the edge, this and that, more than they worry about its edge retention being extended, you know. So I think, yeah, they defer, and I've talked to several people from companies, and they worry more about breakage and chipping than anything else. So, okay. But I think your comments in there may be helpful to them to view how you feel. And so they can respond to your needs. And of course, MaxAce had a big thing on Instagram talking about their viewpoints and inviting people to comment, which is great. You know, discussion is the way you get things done. And so here's this. I think this is for tritium, don't you think? That's what I was thinking. It was for a tritium bar. And hold on, kick this back. Oh, yeah. And I know this is open, but I think you could slide a tritium bar in there too. And you know, they always use this little light adhesive, and you could stick it in there and it'd show from both sides. So I don't know if that's intentionally set up like that, but that's what it looks like to me. Now it's a front flipper, okay? Now let's talk about the real interesting thing about this Peregrine, because you're saying, okay, well, it is like a pivot button. That's interesting. Well, yeah, and you've seen that on like the Remette knife, and then I think the Aurora knives that they had that came out, and oh God, it was some funny name, Truffles. And then but Riot and them and Vosteed and whoever has done one of these. Now, this is different in a way, because if you will look at this button and then you look at the actual lock, well, you're going, well, this is a liner lock, and it is. I mean, you just disengage the liner and it drops, right? And you can finger flick it or you can front flip it and you just disengage the liner, right? But actually, you can disengage the liner this way, okay? And you drop it. Ooh, that's interesting. So how does that work? How do I push it in and it disengages, but it comes all the way through? This comes all the way through the pivot, and you look at the back and you go, there's no screw. How do I get? I had to disassemble all three of these knives because I had the blade tested around the pivot area so it wouldn't show, okay? Because I had all the knives tested that way. So I took blades out of all the knives and just sent them in just for the blade to be tested. So that's what I did. Now, I'm not sure where they would have tested it otherwise, because they need a bit more of a flat spot than that to test it. So it's a good thing I did on these. But there she drops. And you know what? It was fascinating taking these apart, because I had to take all three of them apart. So I'm going to do that here in a few minutes and show you how this happens. And you know what? I don't think I ever took the truffles apart. The Aurora Knife Company truffles, and I did a video on that, but I never did take it apart. And I saw they had an extra spring that they gave you. I bought mine off the Kickstarter, but okay, or their pre-order, whatever it was. I think it was Kickstarter. So here's this. This is not a small knife. It's not a huge knife, but it's a full-size EDC. Interesting design, kind of a Tanto-ish look or whatever. And, you know, about 3.5, not quite, maybe 3.45 inch blade and 7 3/4 overall at like a 19.5 centimeter. Okay, and I'm sure all three of them are the same, obviously. And then let's get away from the raised pivot area, unless, since that's the fattest part of the knife, you might want to know that. 0.65 at 16.6 millimeters. Down off of that is 12.7 millimeters at 0.5. So yes, you have this raised pivot surround, and it crests right up here. You can see where that is around in the front and the back, okay? So, I mean, I've seen like arcade designs do a lot of that pivot surround where it's a raised pivot surround, etc. So that's just something that different manufacturers are using in their design, etc., etc. And who knows, but in the future, maybe they would make other surrounds where you could swap them out or whatever. I don't know, but I mean, these are the two examples that I have, and these are the two variants that are available online. And they come in a box like this with a, you know, Remette, and then a little slide over, and then on the back, this is the B, which is the darker one, okay? And then I think the other one is a G, yeah, G, which is the lighter, with the kind of Storm Anno titanium surround, okay? So, but other than that, I mean, the hardware looks pretty good. I mean, it's nice. It's got that machine screw look to it instead of the button or cap top, whatever type of screws. These are a little bit more sophisticated looking, and it flips out really nice. And then, okay, so this is easy to do, right? But then you got to go, how easy is easy, and is it too easy? Okay, so I really had to get into that to get it out. Okay, so I would say it is not an ultralight detent. I think it might be a little lighter than some people prefer, but it's not too light for me. And you know, and the fact is that you've got a button here, and you want to be able to fidget it. And then also, if you want to be able to front flip it, you don't want the detent way too hard on a front flipper. So, and then also you want to be able to finger flick it, which you can do very easily. You've got this cutaway in here, front and back, so you can kick it out real easy and then just drop it and you can get your fingers out of the way. Or if you want, put your fingers in the way. I don't care, but you can do it that way as well if you want. And then, of course, oops, front flip. So you can do it however you want. Now, let's get a little bit of weight on here and see what we got. Since we got everything else. Oh, I don't think I gave us this measurement, which is 0.13, what, 3.3? Okay, 3.3 millimeter. Drop it and put it right here. 4.8. Okay, 4.8, not bad, not bad. 135, 136 grams. Okay, we're good, easy. And here it's 0.5, so it's pretty thin here, okay? And then we got this right hand, but I don't see a left. We ain't got no left hand there. And we got a place for a lanyard to go through, and that looks nice. Very easy on the ergos. I mean, yeah, it's super easy, okay? Reverse grip feels good as well. And let me see if I can get a little working piece of paper here. Oh, wow, that went that went right through, and so did that. Okay, let me try this. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? Okay, 3 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah, they're all pretty damn sharp right out of the box, so that's not a complaint. I'm always a little curious, like, how does it feel? Is it scary sharp? Is it kind of factory, but a little below as far as sharpness, or a little above? I'd say this is between above normal sharpness into the low end of scary sharp, you know, so that's really good actually. And you can slide clear up in here, so if you have much bigger hands, you still got a lot of room here. You got a lot of room, so you can do that as well. Now, if you don't like a tanto-ish looking, this may not be your knife, you know, but I'm just saying, Remette makes a lot of different knives. So look on their website and see all the different titanium knives that they do and check it out. But yeah, so it's not heavy. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's full-size EDC. It's super fidget friendly. There's no question about that. And obviously it's not difficult to disassemble because I've done it. I've done it 3 times, one for each knife coming through there. So, and here's this one. Let's get another look at this. There's your surround. This may be more your style. Maybe the Storm Anno is a little glitzy for you. Maybe this would be better. Take a look again. Here's our stop. Okay, bam. And here's the back. Of course, it's titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, titanium surround, all that kind of thing. And then, of course, these are steel, but this is a liner lock, so it's not a frame lock. Unlike their Remette RT-BEE. BEE because it stands for bee, right? Like a bee with a stinger, because this one has got a stinger. It's got a titanium pick in here. So whatever you want to use the pick for, you can use it. And it's got a little divot in there because you got a little ball in there or something that, yeah, that makes connection and click. Okay, so it's there. And this one, of course, is kind of weight relieved because you got the holes. And this one is 7 inches. So it's a 3-inch blade, 7-inch overall. Okay, so it is smaller than the Remette Peregrine. But we'll do a separate video on this one later and talk about this as well. So they're coming out with things. And of course, don't forget, it wasn't that long ago they came out with the Swordfish. the RT-Swordfish, the RT-Peregrine, the RT-BEE. Okay, so this is titanium, and this is M390, and this is a gravity knife that is way ass cool. I like it better than the Riot one, the EXO, because I just like the looks of it. It's more like the G&G Hawk, you know, knife, but okay. Like the Deadlock, you know, except theirs is an OTF and it's not a gravity knife, but this kind of looks a bit like it as far as the style overall. And you can flip this blade. You take it out, flip it around, and then make it more left-hand, right? So you can make it left-hand friendly, right-hand friendly. And then these are replaceable, these little fat carbon. You can have regular carbon fiber, you can have whatever, you know. So there's that. And you can have them in this dark, like DLC coating or whatever it is, or you can have them in just a regular silver, you know, titanium. Okay, but that's interesting too because, yeah, I took one apart on my video that I did on this. It wasn't this particular knife, but it was one, and I did a video on it, so just showed, you know, that. But no rattle. That's pretty good. You know, you would think. No, that's pretty good, pretty tight for that. And so those are popular too. Keep those in mind. Now, this is nice because it's got a backspacer. It really completes it. It looks good. I like it a lot. And so this is interesting. Me personally, I didn't need the front flipper. I didn't. I mean, that something doesn't necessarily turn me on, okay? The fact that they left this kind of open where you could put tritium in it is a bit fascinating, so that might be kind of cool. And then doing it there too. I mean, I think it's neat when manufacturers put a place for you to, you know, dress it up, whether you do or you don't. You know, and I do have some tritium bars, so I could kick one in there if I wanted, all right? But this cutaway here is sharp enough here, your finger catches it and makes it easy to flip, to kick it open that way. And then, of course, the front flipper as well. So, and, you know what we ought to do? I think we ought to take it apart. I think we need to take one of them apart. So let's do that. I think you'll be interested in this. And you know, I've got all my drivers sitting here. It's like, okay, here's the driver I need right here. That, I mean, you just put your, I mean, I'm turning this, right? I didn't know how to do this. I just said, this has got to turn then, okay? And I just pushed and turned, and it started unscrewing. And there it goes. And so then you've got this with this spring, okay? So this little thing here lines up with a spring, just kind of pops it in there and kind of holds it in place. And there it is. And I remember there was a spring somewhat like this in the Aurora knife truffles. Okay, so, oh yeah, now it just hit me. And okay, hold on, where is that? There's my candy one. Okay, so then I saw this and I go, how am I going to do that? And I jumped in a box thing I have of weird driver bits and stuff, and thought I could get one of those U-shaped ones, but it wouldn't fit over the top of this. So I go, well, I'm just going to try a regular screwdriver and see if that works. And it does. It works. You could just use a regular screwdriver and unscrew this, right? Okay, so now, whoop-gee, and it's magnetic screwdriver, so here it is. Okay, so here's this. So here's this piece we just unscrewed out of there, and it's got this little dauber that goes through here. Now, hold on. Didn't it kick out of there? I thought it did. I had one that did. Okay, yeah, like this, right? See? Okay, so it goes right into here. And I guess it may, yeah, it only goes in that way because it's flattened on the sides. So there it goes. Okay, and this little thing drops in. So where does it go to? It goes into here, which is in the back of this. Well, let me take these screws off. Hold on, let me get these. These are number 6s. It's kind of fascinating. I would have never thunk of it, but I'm not exactly an engineering guy, so... Okay, let's pull these out. So it's kind of fascinating that people will... I think that's one thing that can definitely set you apart if you come up with a new locking system or whatever. Okay, there's the stop pin. So that's an ordinary part on a knife. Okay. So we got the front out, and we got, we got a steel washer in here. We got weight relieving in here, and obviously we got a screw in here that kind of holds on to this surround, etc. Okay. So that's the presentation side. And then we got these, which is interesting because really wide, big ceramic ring, okay? So that's interesting as well, okay? So let's take that off and knock that out. And then on the other side, we got this old big dog, right? So we got that out. Now, for all practical purposes, for what we would need to do to service this knife, we got it, right? But you could pull this part out. I guess if you got a bunch of grody crap in there, whoops, then you would need to take this off. And so I'm imagining their number. Now, I've never took these off because I didn't need to get the blades tested. So I've never pulled these, but these look the same size. And then, and that's for the surround. I shouldn't need that. And then, you know what? Let's pull this off. There's our back spacer. We don't need them jumping at us. And okay, we're okay. So then this is the lock bar, right? So, and that's a little tiny as well. So that should... Okay, there it goes. Then that releases this whole thing. So this is just a piece. Hold on, let me get this out. I think I should be able to. Oh no, I can't. This is all up against here, isn't it? Oh, whoa, hold on. Yeah, it is. Okay, duh. Okay, so there's a couple more little stubbies, and I'm gonna segregate them. They almost seem a little smaller. Now can everything come forward? And I'm not seeing what would be holding it. So let's see if it'll tap out. Okay, it's moving. Let me see if I can get a little deal under here. Kind of help it out a little bit. Okay, yeah, we had it until it jumped back in. Okay, come on. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so that's not going to act real well until we get this backed out. And I'm wondering what that's going to take to get this to push on through. But let's see if we can do it regardless. If we can just pull it back up over the thing. Yeah, if we just, come on. I know. Just give you a little push this way. Okay, now, this should come off. What am I not letting go? I'm okay. This should come right up over this. Okay, now, a little struggle, because this was not jumping out of the way. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so now we see what we got here. Okay, so we've got this. So when this pushes through, it puts down there, and it pushes the lock bar away. It disengages it, okay? There it is. So that's how this whole thing works, and that's why I can't back up this piece. Let's take this out. Okay, there's your piece right there. Now this should come all the way out, and it does. Okay, so it's got a little slot in here, And that's what holds on in there for this piece, and it's all screws in together, and it gets right into this little slot down here, and it slides right in like that, okay? That's what it does. And that is screwed on to this, which is your lock bar, okay? And that's it. They're just bolt together. So it's a little 3-piece, 1, 2, and 3. There goes this, and this. These all go together, however, and this comes through the whole thing, and boom, that 3-piece thing makes up that whole lock bar deal. And then these others anchor the lock bar down to the scale. And look at these little placement things that tell you this is where this has got to go through, right? To hold it in place correctly. Yeah, okay. So not as weird and difficult as I thought. But you know what? It's just a lever. So there it is, folks. What do you think about that? Interesting little deal. And so to put it back together, we've got to stick this back in like that. And of course it's D-shaped, so you know this has got to go in only one way here. Into this slot right here. And there she goes. And then this little piece in here, like yay. And this in here, like yay. And then these line up, or better, they better line up. And then you put it together. Okay, so you see how that goes? And then you can just screw it back together. I mean, it's not that big a deal. And I'm going to have to get these. Yeah, now I got it lined up. See where this fits? These little bits fit right here. Now, I was saying, and let's get this to line up again. Come on, right there. Okay. Now, it was these little tinies, right? These were the pain in the ass, or whatever they were. And let's get them to drop in just like that. And then we can get this first one to drop. Come on. Come on. There you go, buddy. Okay. Now, once you got that lined up, you got that one lined up. So that's good. And it kind of just tells you where everything ought to go, because these little pins locate it. So you go, okay, we got one here, we got one here, we got one here, 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 and here. So the three-way. So we got the three-way, Jose, and they probably are all the same length because they're all going through the same depth of material. And there's one, and there's two, and cross threads is better than no threads. You know what they say. And hold on, or do they say that? And see, even a dumbass can do this. What's that? Progressive only? Even a caveman can do it. It's so easy. So there you go, right there. And then just put your little dibbly dabble. Oh, well, you got to put this little dog on, right? And where are you? Yeah, you're right in there, aren't you? Or are you? No, you're up top. What the hell is this? Hold on. No, it's up on here. That's it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about you right now. Where's my stuff? Come here. Okay, let's go ahead and dump about 1.5 gallons on this son of a gun. And no, you get over here, and yeah, you're already wet with lube. Screw you. Okay, no wonder it just drops like a rock. do that because that's already wet in there. And let's just throw a little bit on top of here, which is good. And then we've got the stop. Come on, be a good boy. And stick in here. It's always the blade stop that can be the real fun one to get figured out. Okay, now we got to lay this back together, and then we can, let's do the backspacer. What do you think? Just for shits and giggles. What else we got laying around here? Come on. What else? Okay, those are body screws. That's the pivot. Okay. Think we got it. Okay, now get your act together, buddy. And let's, and I just knocked that out. You little bitch. Come here. Well, don't slide it sideways and you won't knock it out, okay? Set it straight down. Okay, come on. Okay, do it. Set it straight. Hold on. Let me move this like this. That doesn't sit down. Yeah, that doesn't sit down like, and kind of sit in there as well as some stops do. It's not a real deep hold in here. So we got to do this. Have to make a couple runs at it just to, okay, we good? Okay. Get our shit together, swear to God. Okay. And, well, you know what? Let's just drop you in the hole. Okay. And what do we say about cross threads? And let's do you here. Now, what are we going to be fooling with? Oh, we just got to put the little pivot thing, the D-doubler back. So this is just the little dauber that sits in here and does the pressing down. Okay, so that's fine, but we got to screw this back in, and all you got to do is you can screw it in just like this. For a little ways, you can get it started. Okay, and I'm still screwing on it, and shouldn't have said it that way. Still, okay. Now, I'm going to put my screwdriver in here and finish it the rest of the way until it is snug. Okay, now, I know that I could check to see. No, there's no play, but it dropping like a dog, isn't it? Yeah, no problem. Okay, now, put this little D-doubler. Oh, let's put you right straight down. And then it screws onto the head of that thing that we just did. So, come on, buddy. Just, are you? Yeah, okay. Now, I'm just kind of trying to catch it where I can. And get it to turn until it's not going to turn anymore, and then it's going to be on. Okay, I think I already hit it. Yeah, it's not turning anymore. Okay, it's done. So it's kind of right there on this, but underneath, since this contours over, the bottom of this button sticks up above that surround more than the top because of the way this whole thing's contoured. And I kind of drove myself crazy on that, looking at that before I realized that. But that is correct. This is done, and this is correctly done. And now we're back together. And is it centered up? Yep, it's centered up, okay? No play in it, and great action, okay? That's the assembly, or disassembly and reassembly on this. Yeah, baby. The Remette Peregrine. And this is the other buddy bud. And then this, of course, is the variant. What do you think? Put your comments below, and I'll leave a link down here to go to the Remette website where you can use the discount code. I don't think it works on Amazon. I think it works on the Remette website. So, there you go. Take care. Check out their other models. I like them. I've been talking about them for several years. And, so that's me. I mean, it got my eye, got my attention. I'm interested in seeing where they're going. And apparently they're interested in a serious conversation about their materials, their workmanship, and their products. So that's always a good thing. And you guys, stay sharp.